So completing the square. This is converting from, we're just converting from standard to vertex. This is what we're doing, converting from standard to vertex. All right, so completing the square. This is what it's all about. Every vertex form equation. Oops. Every vertex form equation has this square in it. Okay, it has a square. It might have more than one square. This A here tells us how many squares there are, but there will always be a certain number of these squares, okay? So our job, our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to find the square that's in a standard form equation, and that's how we're going to turn it into vertex form. So let's start with number 4. We got to find a square in this equation right here. Now going back to this general form real quick, notice that the x's are all in this square. Okay, the only thing's not inside this green box that I have here is a and k, and neither of those are x's, right? Our x's are all contained in this square, which means when we're looking for a square, we need to create a square that contains all of the x's. So look how beautiful that square is. Almost perfect. Oh, that wasn't good. Oh my goodness. There's an almost perfect square. So we need to get these x squared and 8x's in that square, which means we're going to do this just like we did factoring, how we're going to lay it out the same. We're going to have the x squared in the top left. The x's are going to be in the top right and bottom left, and the number is going to be in the bottom right. Okay, the key difference here is if we're trying to make a square, we know that the side lengths, this top length here, and the left length need to be the same because it's a square. So that being said, if we need to fit 8 x's in these two boxes here, and they have to be equal side lengths, that means we need to cut those 8 x's into 4 x's and 4 x's. That's just splitting it up evenly between those two corners. Because of that, then we just solve like we did with factoring. We're going to take the greatest common factor out right here. We're going to solve for right here. So if this is x squared, we know that we need to get x times x to make x squared. So this has got to be x. Once we have those, we know this has got to be 4. This has got to be 4 to make our 4x and 4x. All right, which means because we have a 4 here and a 4 here, my square that I found has 16 units in it, 4 times 4 in that bottom right corner. So we just created an x plus 4 square, because it's x plus 4 times x plus 4. Write that, x plus 4 squared. That's the square that we found that fit or came out of this equation, x squared plus 8x plus 3. Because it has x squared in it, it has 8 x's in it, and then the 3 we're going to get to in a second. Now here's the problem. Here's the completing the square part. This square that we found has 16 units in it, but our problem has 3 units in it. So we have too many units. So what we need to do to this square is we need to subtract 13 units to get to the 3 that we want in our equation. Okay, so our square that we found that had 8 x's in it and x squared in it had 16 units, but we only wanted 3, so we needed to minus 13 from that square. And we write that right here, minus 13. And this is your vertex form. That's all there is to it. You've got your x plus 4 square and minus 13. That's your k value in your vertex form. And all that 13 was how we needed to get from our squares units to our problems units. It was like a correction of those units. All right, we're going to do one more example with a value that's not 1. Let's go to the next page here. I think we already did. You know what? I'm going to add a new example here. I'm going to call this, I don't think we did 8. No, we did 8. We didn't do 7 in class. So as 7, I'm going to write my own 7 example here. We're going to say f of x is equal to 6x squared minus 14x plus 9. Okay, so just making our own problem here. This is our own problem just to show one more example. All right, same idea. I need to create a square that has 6x squared in it and negative 14x in it. So let's do that. So here's our 6x squared. If we want it to be a square and we need negative 14x's in it, that means these two corners need to be the same, which means we need negative 7x in one and negative 7x in the other to make our 14, or negative 14x, start with. So now we just solve the sides here. Oh shoot, this is a bad example. It'll work though, it'll work, so it's gonna be fractions. All right, so what we're gonna do, we could split up the 6x evenly. Thanks, Foul Killer. We don't, we could split up the 6x squared into like 3 and 2, but notice how our standard form, I'm going back a page real quick, our general form here always just has an x in it. It's never 3x, 4x, 5x. It's always just an x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I know that one of these sides just needs to be x. I know one of these sides just needs to be x. So I'm going to pull an x out there and then solve the rest of it. So this has to be 6x here. This one has to be negative 7. Which means this guy here, this is going to be an ugly fraction because I need to times 6x by something to get to negative 1x, or negative 7x, which happens to be negative 7 over 6. Terrible, I know. Terrible. Oh, it's my boy Logan. What's up, Logan? Okay, now that's an ugly fraction, and you'll never have to work with these fractions, but it's still going to work out here. Still going to work out. So this bottom right-hand number here is just going to be negative 7 times negative 7 over 6, which is negative 49 over 6. All right. Now, our square is this guy right here. It's an x minus 7/6 square because this top one is just x minus 7/6 times 6. Times 6. So what we really have is 6 x minus 7/6 squares. X minus 7/6 squares. Okay? 7/6 is annoying, I know, but it's okay, it's going to work out. So we have 6x minus 7/6 squareds. X minus 7/6 squares. Problem is, that gave us negative 49 over 6, and we want 9. We have to say, what do I add to negative 49 over 6 to get to 9? Well, crap. All I have to say with that. So now I'm going to get out a calculator, because I don't want to do this in my head. Let's see, I have to add 49/6 plus 9, which is 49/6 plus 9, which is 54/6. So it's going to be 103/6, I believe. Going to be 103/6, I believe. Hideous number, I know, but it is what it is. You're never going to have anything that hideous to work with, but it's the same idea. The key idea here is this x minus 7, 6 is your square, and this 6 is how many squares you have. Okay, so you've got your 6 down here, and then your x minus 7, 6 squares right here. Okay, hopefully that was a helpful review for some of you. That was confusing before. The 49, 7, 6 thing that is going to be... Oh, wait, I lied here. Nobody caught me. I can't believe you guys didn't catch me. This should be positive 49 because it's a negative times a negative. Yikes. I'm disappointed. Stream, chat, I'm disappointed. Not even Logan got that. Rookie mistake. I was testing you guys, actually. The test. Y'all failed. Now I know that you're all here to just watch Fortnite. Now I know. Trust the teacher. Never. Never. No, sometimes you can. Okay, so I'm actually going to have to not add 103 sixths. We'd actually have to add 5 sixths, I think is what it is. 5 sixths. Review question, Lauren. We'll get there in a second. Aren't I supposed to teach you, Kat? I'm supposed to educate you. The method by which I do that is partially up to me, right? So I just taught you that you need to be careful about your negatives, right? All right. Okay, so let's go to questions. Now your dad is watching. Hello, Bryce's dad. Hello, Bryce's dad. Okay, let's go to... let's go to the homework. So Lauren said she's here for the review question. We'll do that real quick while other people... Anybody else that has a question on the homework? This is 12.3. Go ahead and post your question in the chat so I can see it and we can go over it. I assume, Lauren, you're talking about the review question on the end. This one right here. Find the missing length. Oh boy. Okay, Kat and Joey, we'll go to 15 right after this. All right, finding the missing length. Now this was similarity. This is all the... Here, we even have color now. This is going to be great. All right, it says, first of all, it says that they're similar triangles. So you know that the length of the small triangle divided by the matching length of the large triangle is going to be equal to the other length of the small triangle divided by the matching length of the large triangle. What that looks like is 48 over 156, right? This one was 48. Whole thing is 156 is equal to 58 over x. Okay, 58 was this small side of the smaller triangle, and then x is the entire side. So we did small side over big side equals small side over big side. Did I do, is that 56? I don't know, I drew over it. Oh yeah, definitely. What you get for drawing over your numbers, right? Thanks, Kat, for correcting me. See? I taught you to correct the teacher tonight, Kat. How do you feel about that? Always teaching. Always teaching. A squared plus b squared equals c squared? No. Please no. Please no. A squared plus b squared equals c squared is only for a right triangle solving missing side. Please no. Once we get here, you guys should know this. If we're solving a proportion, we just cross multiply and divide for x. All right. Leaving you there. You can finish the rest. Let's go to number 15. Number 15. So this is going to be just like the other. I know, right, Hayden? It's going to be just like the other ones we did. We need to find a square. We're converting to vertex form, so we need to find a square that contains negative 2x squared and 16x. So we put negative 2x squared here. If we want it to have 16x's total, we're going to do 8 in each corner to make it even, make it a square. Now, if you follow this trick on every problem, you're going to be all right. Whenever you get to this point, pull out an x to the left. Pull out an x to the left. Okay, and then everything's just going to go so smooth. So smooth. Here we go. Once we have that x to the left, we can fill in the rest. This has got to be negative 2x. This has got to be 8. And this has to be negative 4. And then we say 8 times negative 4 is going to make up this corner right here. 8 times negative 4, 32. Negative 32. All right, now our square we found is an x minus 4 square. X minus 4 square. We just have negative 2 of them. Okay, because, and the reason is, this thing here is the same as negative 2 times x minus 4. So it's really x minus 4 times x minus 4 times negative 2. One of our sides is being times by negative 2. Last thing to do is say this square gave me negative 32, but I actually want 5. So how do I get from the negative 32 for my square back to the 5 that I'm supposed to have? I need to add something to get the 5, which is 37. We put that right here. All right. That's number 15. Last chance for any questions. Any questions? I'm not going to do the rest of the homework for you, but I may at least start another problem if you wanted it. May start one, or at least give a hint. See you, Hayden. Just giving it a quick intermission here. It's okay, Spanish Fork Math, whoever you may be. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. You know, that's a handy tool. Just for, only for finding missing sides of a right triangle. All right. All my students think it's where they understand. No, dude. No. Can we play games now? Yeah, we're going to play some games now. Let me put in a marker real quick. So just so everybody knows, if you have any further math questions, let me know. We can maybe get to them kind of between games. Probably not, because gaming is, you know, pretty intense. And it's pro gaming, as Logan said here. So may not be much time for math. No, I'm just kidding. If you guys actually had math questions, I would pause to answer them. So feel free to ask any math related questions. Yeah, I know, Kat, right? End of math section added. All right, we're gonna get on with my good friend Bryce here and see what he's wanting to play tonight. Unless you guys want to pitch in, I could do a quick straw poll. See what you guys were looking for tonight. Fortnite's down tonight, so there's no Fortnite tonight. Let me put in some other options. My wife will probably be home in 15 or 20 minutes, and she might want to play Minecraft for a bit. We'll see. Portal. What else do I have on here? Rocket League.